Afternoon and welcome to my EDFX348 reflection task. So reflective thinking allows individuals to critically assess a task at hand, or more often than not one that's already been completed. So the notion of this reflection embraces feedback and self-assessment in order to improve any theories or ideologies used within the classroom. So within all of my practical experiences, there's been many opportunities that have presented themselves as opportunities to critically reflect. Now, that opportunity is really important in order to improve my practice and better those use of those theories. So within this reflective task, I'll be using the 5Rs framework. So reporting, responding, relating, reasoning, and at the end there, reconstructing my practice. So during my second practicum, I was taking a series of lessons for Year 11 Geography class. Now this class was focused on the Tweed River Sand Bypass project. So the 3 lessons were spaced out across a course of a week-long period, so focusing primarily on an assignment task for them that was due at the very end of the week. My lesson plan focused primarily on a constructivist approach, and in which students complete tasks based on their prior knowledge, so past experiences and prior knowledge. So this was based around the fact that students had actually just completed a field trip to Tweed River, collecting data, making observations, collecting all relevant information for this upcoming assessment. Knowing this, I aim to set up a class that allowed students to use that acquired knowledge and narrow the relevant information down, which again focuses on that final assessment task. So during these classes, AITSL Standard 2.2 was a focal point, concentrating on selection and appropriate organisation of content. The task was for students to use their field trip workbooks as well as individual research to construct posters in groups. Now, each poster was focusing on a different question that linked somehow to the assignment. At the end of the lesson, students would be able to look at each group's posters and findings, and that would hopefully aid the process of individual research and beginning to spark those thoughts around the assignment. So using a constructivist approach, partnered with cooperative learning, I was aiming to positively impact the success rate of all students, and to do so through the use of those relevant theories. Students were going well with the task at hand, however some students at the end of a period of time started to drift off and just work on their assignments individually. Progressively this became more prevalent and more students started to do the same, putting minimal effort into the actual posters and task at hand. Realistically, with the depth of the questions and the amount of people in each group, this task should have taken a lesson, or if not more than a lesson. So when I was receiving feedback from my supervising teacher, it was clear that my lesson goals and success criteria were not clear from the beginning of the lesson. It became clear that the task was missing that aspect of formative assessment. The students had an idea of what the task was, however, there was no means to measure their success or no way of telling, am I done yet? So it became obvious that this was missing Standard 3.1 of establishing challenging learning goals. This meant that there was no aspect of formal feedback to compare success to, for myself or for them. As a direct response, I was able to formulate more questions that directly linked to their assignment and highlighted the significance in these questions. By adhering more to this 3.1 standard, students' participation was higher, student engagement significantly increased. Reflecting on these events has demonstrated the importance of AITSL Standard 3.1, establishing challenging learning goals. Within my future classes, this professional standard will undoubtedly be a focal point in my teaching, ensuring that all students are aware of both the learning goals and success criteria. So during this class, I went back to the whiteboard and I wrote up the learning goals and success criteria for the lesson. Although it was about halfway through the lesson by the time I got around to doing it. Once I'd done that, it was clear that the students had a bit more of a motive, they were engaged more, I could provide more feedback for this sort of formative assessment. By establishing that, it gives more of a motive for the lesson, and again, just allows for me to really dive deep in feedback, and the students respond far better to that. So that has been my EDFX348 reflective video. Thank you.